Hey, what's up everybody? Did you know that 96,000 people move to Las Vegas every single year? The question is why? Well, due to the Fed's interest rate hikes have increased the cost of living for many Americans across the country. Americans are now looking to relocate to Las Vegas because of no state income tax, low unemployment, low cost of living, and affordability for housing. We're also the entertainment capital of the world. So if you are thinking about relocating to Las Vegas, we would like to offer you a free Southern Nevada market report and a relocation guide. All you have to do is click on that link below to claim yours today. All right, what's up everybody? Another day out here in Las Vegas. So today I got my boy with me, Trevor. We're gonna be talking about the real estate market and also the loan programs that he's got going on right now. And we're gonna get a little bit more insight from a perspective of a lender. And we're talking about interest rates and all that good stuff. So a lot of good talks. All right, man. You ready for this?
I was born ready. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the invitation. Allow me to come and share my perspective, share some industry knowledge, and talk about the market with you.
You know what's crazy? I'm looking at the camera. Look at the fucking lighting on here, dude. You look fucking sharp on here, dude. Why do you look better than I do? It's my lighting.
It's because I have these lights.
I know.
You don't have these lights over.
Well, I
you have one.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough though.
No, but also depending on what I'm doing.
You also need a little uplighting.
And that's true. Maybe a backlighting, but the problem is that my forehead is like so greasy. So York's like, every time you go shoot, why don't you go to the bathroom and like wipe your forehead off? I was like, damn, that's pretty fucking rude.
Yeah, bro. Why are you talking shit about my greasy forehead, dude?
I know. It is what it is. Probably is all that grease that's coming from my...
Nah, it's them
forehead.
Asian genetics, bro. We
Yeah,
just
exactly.
have naturally oily skin. That's why we don't need lotion.
That's true. So first and foremost, I just want to say, thank you for coming on the show. That means a lot to me. Obviously, you had to drive down here and all that stuff. So you took the time. I mean, you could be doing more loans, but, you decided to come out here. But also... you actually got me this picture here. Unfortunately, you can't see it on screen because I didn't do a double screen, but the audience can see it right now. And if you take a look at this piece of artwork, this thing is unbelievable. Now, kind of explain, how'd you come up with this? And it was actually a genius idea, very creative. So what this really tells me is this. You really thought this through, because I was literally surprised with this thing. Like, kind of explain that.
So you just want me to walk you through my thought process?
Yeah,
on that?
walk me through the thought process.
Okay, so, York reached out to me and he said, hey, are you interested in coming and being a guest on the show? I said, yeah, absolutely. So anytime I have an invitation to something like that, I try to think, what is a gift that I can reciprocate to this host that's allowing me to come and be a guest on their platform?
Yeah.
Well, I know that you had just recently had a very big life achievement. You just got the Lambo recently.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the challenging things whenever you're in business and you're looking to grow relationships with other industry professionals and people that are in your network, it's hard to buy a gift for somebody that can literally buy themselves anything that they want. Mm-hmm. So what do? You have to get creative. You have to dig in a little bit deeper. So we've been friends now for a couple of years.
Yeah.
I watch all your social media stuff. You're a big inspiration to not only myself, but probably thousands of people that are watching you on a daily basis. And one of the things that I see on your social media a lot, you're in a bowling league. Mm-hmm. All of the shirts and swags that you get for the bowling stuff, guess what? It all has a bunch of urban style street art that's on it. I look at your logo for your team, for the CKG group, right? Yeah. And it has urban art that's inside of that shield. So I was like, all right, well, I know he just got the Lambo. Let me see if I can get him some wall decor, some sick ass artwork that is urban style in nature. And that's how we ended up finding this.
I was very surprised when I got this thing, man. As soon as I opened it up, like I was literally tripping. It's not even like the gift, it's the thought process that you really had to think about what to get this person. And that goes a long way. So now I know, like, when I close a deal, right, what I normally do is I just have a company, which is Gift Lux. So I want to give a
dude, can I cuss on your show?
Yeah, of course. You can do whatever you
I
want.
fucking love Dennis, dude. If you guys are in the industry and no, I swear. Oh, so Dennis, by the way, is the owner of Gift Lux. He's both of our boys.
Yeah.
One of the most humble, coolest dudes you're ever gonna meet in your life, and he's just grinding his ass off to build this business from scratch. He just recently launched phase 2, which is floral arrangements. So if you need flowers for your lady or whatever that's coming up, hit him up. But dude, what a unique service, right? I mean, to show up with the white glove gift basket delivery, nobody else does that.
Yeah.
You know?
So I normally have him just deliver TVs. And what's funny is I got a remark from somebody was like, I see that, you know, you're driving like a Lamborghini and you're flexing your Rolex watch and your Gold Chain and you're only giving a 65-inch generic TV. I was like, what the hell? So I looked at it and I was going to reply, right? But then I was like, you know what? I'm going to let it go. Like, let me know which agent or if your agent ever got you a fucking TV. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But what was weird is when I came to the office, I was going to tell York about it. I was like, yo, you got to check this guy out, man. He said something. And York was like, let me see it. So I went to go show it to him. The guy took it off the feed. It's crazy.
He deleted his own comment?
Deleted his own comment. I think he realized, like...
Or people started blasting him, coming to your defense and being like, yo.
That's one thing that's good about having a group of followers that really follow you, really trust you, really believe in you, and want to see you win. As soon as you get one person that's trying to be like negative, bro, you literally get attacked. It's crazy. But anyway, I want to get into the real estate industry right now, because if anybody has a ground hold, it would actually be you, right? Because obviously you're doing tons of loans and you can see what's going on. First, I want to ask you, the housing market. Give me your perspective of what is going on.
Housing market's kind of interesting right now because I would say that it's kind of like split right down the middle, where buyers are coming in and they think that they can get the absolute best deal in the market by trying to undercut or offer lower amounts instead of going in with their strongest and best. And then you have sellers on the flip side. They're like, I'm going to sell this for absolute top dollar, right? Well, those two things can't exist at the exact same time. So I think that from the consumer standpoint, maybe that it's a little bit, it's really up to us as the professionals to set realistic expectations of where we are in the current market. I think that there's a lot of geopolitical stuff that's happening right now as well. We're less than a month away from the presidential election that's coming up on November 5th. So it's interesting to talk to consumers, especially with refinance opportunities that are coming in, where some of them have this mindset of like, hey, I'm going to wait. I want to wait until we see what's going to happen with the election.
So what are they waiting for? Hopes of interest rates to drop?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at historical from the last elections for the presidency, I think the last 6 or 7, every single one of them had improvements or property values that have increased after the election. Only one time did property values actually go down after the election.
Was that a Republican in office, or was that a Democrat right after?
Well, if you think, it's got to be Democrat, right? Because what is it? Out of the last 16 years, 12 of them have been Democrats that have actually been in the president's seat. 4 of those years was Trump. So we'll see, man. We'll see what's going to happen with this election cycle. There's also, conflict that was in the Middle East. We had that scare that was with the longshoremen union, but they've settled that. For those of you that kind of don't know what's happening there, the longshoremen union on the East Coast basically went on strike in the first week of October, and it was over their salary, wages, and the implementation of AI into their industry. And they recently settled that. So they pushed that out into January of next year before that'll be back on the table. So we'll see.
I seen the ports in China, how they use AI and it's freaking insane, dude.
Dude, it's crazy.
Dude, everything is all automated, and there's like literally like no workers, which is kind of cool if you think about it. And I think that's the direction that we're going. I mean, obviously Elon Musk, he just launched.
Did you see his
Yeah.
iRobot bots that he just dropped?
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And how does this guy land like a rocket ship from outer space?
Caught that bitch.
Yeah, it was like
Caught it. Yeah.
that is so insane, dude. Like this guy is the freaking genius. But just the way that technology is going, this is something that we need to get ahead of the curve and really get used to. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think there should be more or stricter regulations on the implementation of AI?
I don't think so, because I feel like government is just stepping in so much that they are like literally controlling everything. You know what I mean?
What's the one that does Chat GPT? The company No,
I don't know.
I can't remember the name of the company, but they originally were going to be non-for-profit, and then their CEO just recently announced that they're switching to a for-profit model.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's interesting, man. The whole landscape. I was really against using AI for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I took a break from creating social media content when we had the baby earlier this year.
Oh, congratulations!
Thanks, brother. He's 10 months old, actually.
Is this your first baby, or how many?
Dude, he's
kids
10 months old today.
Oh, today.
Yeah.
Oh,
10 months old today. First baby. Yep. Boy, his name is Maverick.
I like that name.
Give him
like Maverick and Goose.
Yeah, gave him a real strong
Hell
first name. Middle name is after his great grandfather on the wife's side, so Maverick Robert Otsuka. But yeah, man, it's cool. It's I took a break from social media because I was trying to navigate being a new dad and kind of figuring that out. But prior to that, I wasn't really using AI at all in any of my planning. I was really doing everything manually.
Yeah.
So when I got back into it recently, I was like, dude, how can I leverage these AI tools just to get some time back in my life? Because I'm working on limited hours at the moment. You know, I got to be at home at certain times, helping with the baby. A couple days a week, I'm actually at home with the child and working from the house. So I'm using Buffer now as a social media content calendar. So
Yeah.
I can go in and I can plan out up to 2,000 posts ahead of time, and you could choose how many accounts you want to have it linked to, and it'll automatically post for you.
So it chops it up for you as well. Does it edit?
That's a different type of tool. It depends on what you're doing. So like your long form stuff, like this podcast video for YouTube, there's a ton of tools that are coming out now where you can just dump in the link for the YouTube video and it'll pull and it'll chop.
That's great, but I feel like there's no creativity in it, because when you have a editor that sits there, she can kind of like create her own style. That's what I like about it. However, it does cost a lot of money though.
So that's the difference, right? Like, what are you willing? Where are you at in your business?
Yeah.
Do you have the funds allocated to be able to hire or have in-house media team or have a dedicated editor that can work on your stuff? Are you using VA editors that are overseas that are really cheap, but their communication is lacking because there's a 15-hour time difference between where you are and where they are? So now you have to send them batch content well ahead of time, and you're sending them 15 reels to edit, and then you're just waiting to get those back, and then you're slowly dripping those out on your media posts. So my recommendation for anybody that's really starting or just beginning in social media is you just got to make a plan. That's it. Something that you know that you can stick with week in and week out, and then just run it. Like when you got started in YouTube, for example, very first starting out, you told me the story when I had you on the show.
Yeah.
We were talking about you running around literally in flip-flops, filming the first houses that you had.
That's the most paid video right there.
Yes,
it really is, which is the craziest thing.
Yeah, but you were just getting started in that avenue, and that was really in kind of almost in the infancy of YouTube.
Yeah.
So how did you make it work? You made it work by just having a plan, like, okay, I'm going to do this. This is how many days a week I'm going to film it. And I'm going to get it edited or get it posted, or even just not edit it and just post it raw. And you stuck with it. And now fast forward multiple years, look at where you're at.
Yeah, it's true. Mortgage loan applications, where are we at with that, man? Are we starting to get more applications, or
They kind of
dipped, to slow down?
They dipped a little bit through the month of September. And then I think that we're kind of on par year over year for the month of October.
Okay.
I think that, again, because of the election, consumer sentiment is just a little bit, they're nervous. People are just scared, man. They don't really know what's going to happen.
You don't think the holidays has anything to play?
Well, I mean, traditionally, December usually slows down, right?
Yeah.
But I think it's also perspective. A lot of people are in our industry. on the realtor side and then also on the loan officer side. It's true in both ways.
Yeah.
People just take December off, dude. And to me, I feel like November is really the beginning of the next year.
Yeah.
If you can buckle down and figure out your plan of action and what you're going to do day in and day out to go in and get business, you can dominate the whole beginning of the next year, because while everybody else was out taking vacation, you were putting in the work that was needed to grow your business.
I don't understand. Why would you go on vacation and not work? Because when I'm on vacation, I'm still working. I'm just not working physically showing properties, but I'm still working.
Yeah.
I mean, you should always be working, because this is one of those industries where you don't physically have to be here, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Everything is just done through a cell phone.
Or online or on your laptop. Or
Exactly.
I think it also depends too on like where you're at.
So did you read in the paper regarding how the builders are complaining that the BLM is not releasing any land to the city?
I have not read that article.
What's kind of crazy is their complaint is this: we don't have enough land to buy, so that way we can build for affordable housing. Which is, I feel like that is such bullshit, because even though that the builders get more land released, right, where they can build, do you think they're going to drop pricing?
No.
No.
It's all because of supply and demand. And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
to push back on what they're complaining about is, look at AMH.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. AMH is a home builder,
Yeah.
but they build properties specifically for rent. You can't even buy those motherfuckers. So what are we talking about? Like, if it's AMH that's pushing back on that, like, hey, we don't have enough land for us to buy properties to build houses for affordable housing. Well, you're not even selling those. You're just keeping those in the portfolio, and you're specifically using them for rental properties.
I know that they're about to build some affordable housing out in the Southwest, and I have some homes that I'm selling around that area.
It's in Mountain's Edge,
Yeah,
right off of
and,
Buffalo and Cactus.
I've been getting a lot of rebuttals about this. A lot of people are complaining because they are under the impression that because it's affordable housing, they are afraid that you'll have a certain type of demographics that comes in that could also depreciate the value of that neighborhood, which is, I don't think that's true. But it's just kind of crazy, like, how many people I've talked to around that area, and they're like, yo, we're just trying to get rid of this before this shit comes in.
Oh, like people that are trying to sell their homes before that project is completed?
That is correct.
Got it. Right behind that, too, is one of those AMH communities. There's actually, I think, 3 of them that are right on Cactus for that AMH developer that's just building those properties to rent only. I've driven by that project. I live over in that area, so it's pretty close. I don't know what kind of structure it is. I know that it's Nevada Hand that was part of the development organization that's building that out. It's like a U-shaped building. It's 2 stories. It looks like it's probably going to be some type of townhouse or condo units. I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to decrease value, because what is value really based on? It's really based on supply and demand.
Yeah. Now, you said that you read an article in the paper regarding, how much you got to make to actually buy a house, right?
It was actually Las Vegas Review-Journal. If you guys follow the LVRJ on social media, they actually posted it today. Today is Wednesday, October 16th. And it was an interesting visual graphic of how they calculated how much money you need to make as a Las Vegas resident to live comfortably. And their calculation came out to just over $111,000 per year.
I mean, that's a lot of money, dude.
Well, they also stated that I think the average income earner in Las Vegas is at $66,000 per year. So you really definitely need to be in a dual income household, or you have to be working in a profession where you're making a good amount of money. And what they used on that was the 50-30-20 rule.
Yeah.
And that's how they calculated that.
$66,000 a year, average household income. I mean, you can't even afford a medium price point home at $485,000. 3 bedrooms, 1,900 square feet, 2.5 bath with a 2-car garage. I mean,
probably not a single family residence.
Yeah,
I mean,
because of rates today too. Because what are we hovering? Because when I looked online, I think we were at 6.185 or something.
It's higher than that right now. So national average. This information is from Mortgage News Daily. This is a free online resource. It's mortgagenewsdaily.com. They also have a mobile app. I'm sure you have it on your phone. But this will give you a pretty good interest rate survey. They survey from over 200 lenders nationally.
Okay.
And right now, for a 30-year fixed conventional, we're at 6.63%. Okay, 15-year fixed is at 6.07. FHA is at 6.08, and then VA is right along with that at 6.1.
So for a lot of the new home buyers out there, kind of explain what all that means, because what you said, I have no clue what you just said.
For the interest rates?
Interest rates and all these type of different loans. I want to get into this, so explain all that for the buyers out here.
Okay, so let's talk about the income item first. Okay, so how do you even figure out what amount of house that you could afford?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to take your annual income and you're going to figure out what is the monthly amount that I actually make. From that monthly amount, you're going to then subtract your monthly expenses. And what we care about when we're qualifying you for a mortgage loan is consumer debts. These are items that are actually going to report on your credit report. I don't give a shit about your cell phone bill or what you're paying for water, gas, sewer, electric. I don't care about any of those things. I care about, do you have a car loan? What's your minimum credit card payment amount every single month? Do you have student loans? What's the status of those student loans? Are they on deferment where they don't have a payment right now? Yeah. Or do they have a minimum required payment? Are you on income-based repayments instead of having whatever,
Don't forget child support.
Yeah, child support is another one, right? So you'll add up all those items and then you will subtract them from your monthly income number, okay? Usually we can qualify you for, depending on the loan program, FHA, we can go higher on your DTI. General ballpark is like around a max of 54%. And then for conventional, it's going to be lower than that. So you could probably go between 42 to 46%, just depending on if you have other offsetting factors, like your credit is really good and you got money in the bank, okay? So you can do the math on that and say, all right, if I've got $10,000 of monthly income and I've got $2,000 that goes out for my debt, I've got $8,000 left, okay? I'll take the total amount and then I'm going to multiply it by, call it 42%. Okay. From that 42% number, I'm going to subtract that $2,000. Whatever's left, that's my maximum mortgage payment that I could have. So let's do the math on it. I'll just show you right now.
But also depending on what the interest rate is, obviously if the interest rate is lower,
then you're going to
qualify for more.
Yeah, then you're going to take that number and then you're going to pop it into a mortgage calculator.
Okay, let's kind of go through the rundown for these people here. Let's help them out. So give me an example.
All right, so let's say you make $10,000 a month.
Okay.
All right, and you're going to cap out at like 42% DTI. Okay, so I'll do the math on this. $10,000.
So this is a conventional loan we're doing?
Just in general, yeah. Okay. So let's do conventional, and then I could probably kick it up a little bit higher for FHA. So times 0.42. Okay, so your DTI cannot exceed $4,200 on that. Okay, so from that, what did we say? Your other consumer debts was like $2,000, right? So I'll subtract the $2,000 from that.
$2,200.
So that means your mortgage payment can't exceed $2,200. And that's got to include everything: principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and then if there's an HOA or not, right? So I could see why that Review Journal statement is saying on that 50-30-20 rule that you got to be at like $111,000 for the year, because we did it at $10,000 a month. That's $120K.
Oh, wow.
Right? So it makes sense that with the mortgage payments, and you can pop this in, there's free mortgage calculators all over the place. So you'll go to Mortgage News Daily, you'll get the national average interest rate. You'll take that information, pop it into a mortgage calculator for a 30-year fixed, and you're just going to put in, here's my purchase price. Here's how much money that I have to put in the down payment. And then it'll poop out at the very end the projected mortgage payment. And then you'll put it against this math and you'll say, okay, I'm $1,000 too high on the mortgage payment. What are my options? I could either put more down and lower the loan balance, or I could look at a less expensive house.
Okay. And from there, it should show you exactly how much you'd be approved for. And based upon what you're approved for, then you'll start looking at homes.
Well, there's other variables,
points, right?
There's other variables too, right? Like that's a national average rate.
Yeah.
Not every lender is the same. You know, when you look at a bank or a mortgage broker, depending on how that company is structured, you're going to have your par interest rate. So this is the rate that the lender is giving you. And then the company stacks on top of that what's called margin. Margin is how the loan officer gets paid. It's how the company gets paid. It's how everybody gets paid on the lender side, right? The only option to not do it that way is we call it borrower paid. I'm going to give you a raw interest rate, but then I'm going to charge you with like an origination fee, okay, of what I would like to make on the deal. So not every lender is the same. I'm blessed right now with where I'm at because I really don't have any margin on top of my stuff. So we are extremely competitive when it comes to rates in the current market, especially on VA and conventional.
So how does the consumer know or calculate how much they will need to do a deal?
It depends on the state, right? Because every state is a little different on what your like escrow fees are going to be and your third party fees. I would say general rule of thumb is know what product you're going to be looking at. So if you know you got really good credit, 740 or greater, you're probably going to be in the conventional range. Okay. If you're a first time home buyer, which all it means is you haven't owned a property in the last 3 years, you can come in with as little as 3% down. There are other programs that will help you with down payment assistance. Some of them have a 0% down conventional product. Some of them have a 1% down conventional where they're covering the other two. It just depends on where you're going. The downside to those DPA programs, though, is that they have higher interest rates than what you could otherwise get in the market because you have less skin in the game as the consumer. So it's a higher risk for the lender. FHA minimum down is 3.5%. VA doesn't technically require a down payment at all. So it depends. Like you got to figure out, okay, what program are we looking at on this first? So let's do conventional. Let's say you're a first time home buyer, haven't bought a house before. You can bring in as little as 3%. So that's 3% there for down payment. Closing cost average in Nevada for Clark County, where we live in Vegas, is about 2 to 2.5%, depending on which title and escrow company that you go with. So now you're at 5%. Okay. And then you have your secondary costs, which are going to be, you have to pay for an appraisal up front. And then you also have to pay for a home inspection up front. So really you're going to be probably in like the 5 to 5.5% range, right? Depending on what kind of property you're looking to buy.
Now you can actually eliminate some of those costs if you have the right agent, depending on the structure of the deal.
If you call the host of this show and allow his team to negotiate for you on a better deal, especially in the current market, it's 100% likely that you'll get some type of seller contribution at closing, which honestly can be an absolute game changer for consumers.
Yeah. The reason why I'm setting this up right now and I'm about to tee this off, I literally just went into contract yesterday, actually last night.
Congratulations.
Okay, with a new home build. You're not going to believe how much I got off of this deal.
Okay, so off of the price of the house.
Of the price of the home. Let's start off with that.
Okay, what kind of house is it?
So it's actually a townhouse. This gentleman, he barely just had enough money to scrape by to get this deal done.
Okay.
I knew his total cash out of pocket. Like I knew how much money he had. I said, look, we got to work this deal.
Okay.
Going back and forth. This literally took me like 3 days to get this deal done. But this gentleman got $72,000 off of a price reduction.
Holy shit.
On top of that, $16,000 towards closing costs. $16,000 towards closing costs, bro.
Now, to get that, did they have to use the in-house lender?
Yeah, we use the in-house lender. But here's the thing. Locked in the rate, 4.65%.
That's solid, dude. So it's really difficult to beat from a lender perspective if you're a broker.
How do you beat something like that?
You can't beat new builds, dude. You just can't. They're offering so much in incentive. And I spoke to somebody actually that was marketing for new build. Do you know how they do that?
How?
They have 4% of the value of the property that's built in for marketing expenses.
Yeah.
And they use that towards the interest rate buy down and the incentives and all of those things. So it's already pre-cooked in to the price.
That's the same thing. It's like, why should I hire you? Am I going to get a better deal if I just do it myself other than have an agent? It's the same thing. It's already built into the deal.
It's built into the deal.
Yeah. They're not going to give you a discount. They're not going to say, hey, we'll give you a discount because you fired your agent. You know what I mean?
Same thing with like the rates. Most of the time, if it's lender paid where we're getting paid through the interest rate, it's already cooked in. Like you don't even know. Okay. Unless you're working with like a really transparent loan officer that's going to explain to you, hey, this is how interest rates work.
Yeah.
Then you would never know otherwise.
Now I want to go to FHA conventional jumbo loans. Kind of explain all those type of loans. If I'm out there shopping for a loan, how do I know which loan program to go with?
I think credit is going to be a big one.
Okay.
Okay. So FHA has much more flexible credit guidelines. Okay. They'll go all the way down to 580 for a minimum FICO score. In some cases, you can do manual underwrite just depending on who it is. And they allow you to go higher on your debt to income ratio. So if they're also viewed as being more favorable towards first time home buyers because of those more flexible credit requirements. Conventional is the step beyond that. Okay. A lot of people will use FHA to get into their first property, make those payments on time, continue to build their credit, And then as that equity grows in the property, their family needs change and now it's time to upgrade to the next home, or they're keeping that property and they're just going to refinance out of it and move into the conventional loan product. A lot of people will do it that way.
Now, why would I go FHA 3.5 versus just conventional at 3% down?
Because conventional on the mortgage insurance is different. Okay. So the mortgage insurance on conventional is called PMI, or private mortgage insurance. Then on FHA, it has its own built-in mortgage insurance.
Yeah.
So FHA has one that's upfront. It's called an upfront mortgage insurance premium. It's 1.75% of the loan amount, but you don't pay it out of pocket. It gets rolled into your loan balance. Okay. But I think last year they actually changed the monthly mortgage insurance amount. They reduced it for FHA because they wanted to spark it being more affordable for consumers. When you move over to the conventional side, it's totally based on what's your credit score, how many borrowers are on the loan, what's your income amount that you have. So the conventional one can be variable. So it could be, you got to look at what's called your blended rate. Have you heard of this before?
No, I have not.
All right. So blended rate is your base interest rate. Let's say it's 6%.
Okay.
And then you also have your monthly mortgage insurance rate, whatever that turns out to be. So conventional, we shop around, we see who's providing the best rate for that. I'm going to add both of those together. That's your real monthly interest rate. That's your blended rate. So what we'll do is we'll compare whatever the FHA blended rate is to the conventional blended rate is. Whichever one's lower usually is going to result in the better payment.
And what about limits? Like, what's the most can I actually borrow from one loan to another?
Great question. They just recently updated this. So I don't even think that they've announced this yet. Usually they announce the conventional conforming loan limit for the following year. End of November.
Because I know FHA, they're about to raise it up over here.
I think it's going to be $795 is the increase to conventional conforming. So anything that's $795 and below would not fall into the jumbo category.
Okay, so explain the conforming.
It's not confirmed yet, though.
Yeah,
they haven't
just
actually
explain
released
the conforming. I think this is important as well. A conforming loan.
So if you do the math on that, I think it's about 3.5% increase from where it is now.
Okay.
FHA is $498. So if we were to do a 3.5% increase, if that's going to be their math on it, so $498.
And this is for each county, depending on where you live. So just keep that in mind, guys. So if you went to Hawaii, it would be a lot higher than here.
Oh,
so.
Hawaii, anything in Los Angeles, anything in San Francisco, these are going to be high balance areas. Okay, so if the math is correct, I'm just kind of guessing here, assuming 3.5% increase in home values. FHA limit for Clark County, Nevada would jump up to about $515,000.
Dude, imagine making a payment on a $515,000 home, dude. Dude, your payment's like $3,400 a month at today's rate, roughly. That's like insane.
Yeah, you're gonna be in that ballpark.
Dude, that is very expensive.
I'm doing a cash out refinance for a client right now. Business owner owes some back taxes from 2023. He's like, dude, I just want to consolidate and pay all this shit off. I'm like, all right, dude, let me take a look. So he's got a great equity position on the property, but with the loan balance that he wants to take, bro, his payment is like $5,800 a month.
What was he paying before?
Well, he has owed taxes for the IRS for 2023, which is 120 racks that he's got to pay off. He's got a business loan. He's got a couple of HELOCs. So we're just consolidating all of that shit.
And he's just repositioning
into one, correct.
Are you seeing that a lot lately? Based upon how the economy is going? Are people taking some of their equity out?
Yes.
Or are they just kind of holding on to the interest rate that they have?
Great question. So we have a lot of people that are kind of what I call the frozen community, where they took advantage of the ultra low interest rates that were artificially created by the COVID pandemic. They're sitting on a rate that's below 3% or even below 3.5%. And then they have a need now where I need to upgrade the house. We had a kid, or I just want to move, or I'm going into another location. And they look at a 6.5% interest rate square in the face, and they got a 2.5% now. They're like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to stay here for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I think as interest rates do continue to progressively get lower as we move into this next year, there's going to be a point where people are like, you know what? I'm going to pull the trigger on this. I think it'll be in the mid-5 range. The reason why I say that is because if you look at overall consumer debt, especially on credit cards, it's the highest it's ever been, I think, in history in the United States. Over $1 trillion of credit card debt across the country.
So that's going to have to be paid off, because I think 34% or 36% of all the homes are actually owned free and clear.
Yeah, which is a staggering amount.
Yes, I could not believe when I seen these numbers. I thought it was like 12%, but when I heard like 36%, I was like, wait, 36% of Americans literally own their home fucking free and clear.
Correct.
Which is insane. And eventually, like you said, they may stack up on some chips. They're saving right now, but then they may reposition. It may come to a time where, hey, you know what? Money's cheap. I can borrow it again. Even though I got money, let me reposition. Because that's how you make more money. You borrow money, you leverage it out to go make more money.
Well, that's the thing, though, is that they don't teach us that in school.
Yeah.
They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know that a cash out refinance on your property is a cash-free event or a tax-free event. You don't have to pay taxes on doing that cash out refinance. You're just accessing equity in an asset you already own. You only pay taxes on your capital gains, which is the property appreciation when you sell it.
That's funny that you said that because I have a client that's actually flying in from California. He's got 2 properties that own free and clear. So he's taking his primary residence that he's staying in right now. We're doing the same thing, right? We're going to take some of the money, buy it cash here. He's not going to retire until 2 years, but then he's going to reposition. Once he moves out here, starts to reposition, he's going to end up selling that home and just paying everything off at that point. And he doesn't have to pay the taxes on it.
Yep.
And he's strategically transitioning
Because he's
out of
1031ing that, right?
California. It's like, damn.
Got to be careful with California, though, because they're the
they'll
only
chase you down.
state, they have a 25% clawback.
Yeah.
So somewhere down the road, if you end up having to pay capital gains in some other state from you selling that property and you're not actually rolling it into a new investment and replacing it, California's going to come after you and they're going to say you owe us 25%.
Well, you can kiss my ass because I don't live there.
It doesn't matter, dude.
I know.
On the 1031 exchange, their shit is wild, actually. So
I know. Which is, I don't even know, like, how those guys are surviving out there, dude. Like, California.
I don't know, man.
I go there, and I enjoy California. Don't get me wrong. It's a whole different lifestyle. But just the cost and just, like, what's going on out there politically, I don't see why people still love it enough to stay out there. That's the crazy part, dude.
I don't know, man. I mean, you have a ton of clients that relocate from California. I've helped a number of clients that relocate from California as well. And when I have that conversation with them and I'm like, hey, what's the reason why you're pulling the trigger right now and making this relocation to the state? And that's the number one thing they always say, dude, is cost of living.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saving so much money by moving here. It's crazy.
Dude, you save a lot, dude. I think you're literally taxed like almost 22% of what you make out there.
Well, so keeping it to real estate related.
Yeah.
Whenever you buy a property here in Nevada, we do not recast the property taxes on the sales price, which means if I were to buy your property, okay, I'm just going to assume whatever the property taxes are.
Yeah.
Regardless of what I'm buying it for. In California, that ain't the case. Okay. If you bought your property in California for $1 million and then you're selling it to me for $2 million, I'm not just going to assume your existing taxes. They're going to recast the taxes based on the $2 million purchase price that I am buying the property at.
Now, I do want to backtrack. If you do buy a brand new home, it's typically 1% of the total sales price. So that's what your tax will be on.
On new construction.
Yeah, on new
Specifically
construction.
on new
But if you bought a resale home,
yes,
it may go up just a little bit. Typically, it's about 3% on a primary, secondary home, or an investment home. It can go all the way up to 6%, and there's actually a cap.
It's
and I'm
8%
glad,
now.
Is it 8%?
It's 8% now, yeah.
And I'm glad that they actually put that cap, and that was years ago.
Dude, so I did a couple of refinances this year,
Yeah.
and one of the main things that I do is I'll go to the county assessor and I'll pull the tax records for the property, and you can see on there what the tax rate is.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people now, dude, where their primary residence, they have it as an investment property cap rate. Swear to God, 8%. And when I go to the county assessor website now to find, it's called a tax abatement form. So those of you that are listening here, just pause this show, go on to the county assessor website and find your tax information for your primary residence. And look, it'll say right on there in the top, it's either going to be 3% or it's going to be 8%. If it's your house that you live in and it says 8%, you need to call the county assessor the immediate following business day and ask them, how do I do the tax abatement? Because it's no longer listed on their website. That form used to be openly available on their website.
Well, what was crazy is they used to mail it to you, and they would ask you the question.
Yeah. Now you don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
You have to physically go out and pursue them and say, hey, my taxes are too high. It should not be 8%. This is my primary residence. It should only be 3%. And they'll say, oh, Here's how you need to do this.
And also, they literally send you out every year for my investment properties. What are you charging every single month for rent? And
Is that new? When did they start doing that?
they've been doing this for years. So
Okay.
basically, what they do is they want to know exactly what you're charging. If you're charging over the standard rate, then they're taxing you more.
What?
Yes, which is crazy to me. I couldn't believe it. And you got to check this box. You got to sign it, right? They ask how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, their square footage. Is this an investment property? Obviously, you got to check yes, right? Because you're renting it out. And they want to know how much are you renting it for. And if your rents are above the average, they're taxing you more money, which is insane to me. I got this every single year. Matter of fact,
So do you have a property that you're getting tax extra on right now?
no, because I keep my rents a little bit lower, and my tenants, they've been in there for like 8 years.
Okay.
So I always do like, you know,
I'm curious what it would say on the
I
county
do it-
assessor website.
Yeah, I do it like $2 below.
Let's
so that
go.
way I'm always underneath that
Let's go.
threshold.
Smart man over here. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll find that form. I'll send it to you, man. It's pretty fucking crazy, dude. You got any investment properties?
No, not right now. No.
Okay. Now I want to go back to the type of loan. So we got FHA, we got conventional, but after you hit a threshold for conventional, then you start going into non-conforming, which is jumbo loans. But is there any like special programs out there versus the traditional loans that every lender, every banker has?
It's interesting that you asked that question, right? Because all of the lenders, for the most part, you know, just to keep it real,
Yeah.
we pretty much all have the same shit.
Exactly. And that's the reason why I'm bringing this up, because a lot of consumers think like, oh, I'm going to go to this lender because they have this loan program. I'm like,
Another thing too that I would be worried of is if you have a lender that is openly promising you up front, we're going to give you a free refinance if you refi within the first 5 years. Dude,
yeah,
consumers, there's no such thing as a free refinance. It doesn't exist. Okay. We're either
going to roll it into the deal.
correct. We're either going to increase your loan balance at the time of the refinance. Okay. Or we're going to increase your interest rate, because having the higher interest rate means that the bank or the lender or whoever we're funding the loan with is going to pay us back rebate. Okay. So that's an overage, and we're going to use that rebate to cover your closing costs. So it's not free. There's no such thing as free.
Well, you
So-
got to make money some way, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to get paid. Everybody has their hands in the cookie jar. So if I were in the consumer shoes, I would just be looking for somebody that is going to be honest and transparent and really just walk me through this process.
So how do I compare from one lender to another? Like, how do I know who's giving me the best deal?
It's going to be on their fee sheet breakdown or their loan estimate. So most of the time, they're not going to give you a loan estimate right out of the gate, but you can say, hey, let me see your fees for the deal.
Yeah.
And they have to provide you that, right? So in the breakdown, you're looking for lender fees specifically, because title and escrow is going to vary. It totally just depends on who we use for title and escrow. Your third-party fees are going to be box B, which is, these are third-party fees required to process your shit.
Yeah.
For example, we need to get an appraisal if it's a purchase.
Yeah.
If it's a cash out refinance, we're going to need an appraisal. So that's a third-party fee. It doesn't go to the lender. It doesn't go to title and escrow. It just is what it is. A credit report is a third-party fee required to process your loan. Right?
Yeah.
So all those things are going to be variable in there. Box A, that's what the lender can control. Okay. Is there an origination fee? Is there a discount fee for the interest rate? That's really a big variable there. So you could get a quote from lender A over here at this bank, and you'll look at that line item and you'll see, okay, my discount for the interest rate is $1,500. Then you get a quote from loan officer B over here. That same interest rate maybe is only costing me $500, right?
Yeah.
So that's where you're going to make the savings, is by making the comparison there. They could also, what's tricky too, dude, is that those fees for discount for the rate and then for origination fee, they could tell you, hey, I'm going to get you this amazing interest rate. There's not going to be any discount points on it, but they're moving that fee over to the loan origination column.
Yeah.
And you don't know it until you get that loan estimate. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you just got to be careful.
Okay. So we just got to look out for the loan origination. And what else we got to look out for?
Discount points,
Discount
whatever
points.
the discount fee is for the rate.
Okay.
Okay. Those are the two biggest costs. And then you're pretty much going to most likely pay underwriting and processing.
Okay. Also, explain the APR, because I always see the interest rate. Then we have the APR. Explain what the difference is, because I always get asked this
APR
question.
is super confusing. The best way to explain it is that it is a percentage representation of your total costs of the loan. Okay.
Okay.
So if your rate is 6%, but your APR is 6.25%, it's basically adding in the discount fee, the loan origination, underwriting processing, anything else that you're bringing additional to the table expressed in an interest rate.
Okay. Now, if I am just getting started, I want more information. What you're saying makes sense. I like this guy right here, Trevor. He's a cool dude. What's the best way to get a hold of you? How do I get a hold of you?
You could just hit me up on Instagram, dude. I'm always on Insta. My name is Trevor Otsuka. It's Otsuka. It's super easy. I haven't seen anybody else that has my same last name. Yeah.
That's Japanese, right?
It's correct. Yep.
Originally
my family's from Hawaii too.
Yeah.
Big Island, Hilo.
Hilo? Mm-hmm. Wait. What school did your dad go to?
I don't remember, dude. That was in like the late 50s, early 60s. Pops is 78.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my father-in-law, I think he's probably like 62. And I guarantee your dad probably knows my father-in-law. He always goes to the beach. It's called Richardson's.
Okay.
And he just posts up there pretty much every day and like just hangs out with his friends. And
he probably knows my uncle Doug Otsuka. He used to have a like graphic design company that would do t-shirt prints and paper print materials and all that stuff. They have my grandfather's house still there that he kind of property manages, that they have tenants for. There was a spot, dude, that was in Hilo that we went for breakfast. It's like an iconic breakfast place.
Yeah.
It's like a 1950s diner kind of setup. And they had photos all over the walls.
Oh, Ken's.
Ken's, correct.
Yeah, I always go there. They got some good ass curly fries.
Dude,
though,
I went there with my uncle and I walked in there. I felt like I was in a time machine, you know? Yeah.
I can't stand that place, bro. It's too slow.
Yes, that's correct. We stayed on the Kona side when we went to go visit. The drive across the island, because they have that the highway now that goes through the center of
it's called Saddle Road, I think it's called.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful, dude.
You know what?
But you're right.
I don't like the Big Island, bro.
Bro, everybody's just so slow there, though, dude. Like, I'm coming from Vegas, bro, and I worked before I got into lending. Yeah. I was in fine dining, food and beverage for almost 10 years, dude.
Oh, with what company?
I was at the Wynn for 8 years. My last restaurant I worked at was Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen at Caesars. Mm-hmm. And dude, I just had such a sense of urgency in that industry. So when I go somewhere, bro, and you guys are slow as fuck, like, dude, it just, I almost want to sit at the bar instead.
Yeah.
I don't really want to sit in the dining room. I'd rather sit at the bar.
Yeah. Like normally when I go, this last time we went to a family reunion. So it was more for my wife. We stayed there for like 2 weeks and, it literally drive me nuts. The only thing I did every day was just go to the gym and just pump some iron. Yeah. And that was basically it.
And go to the beach?
And I don't even go to the beach, bro. I don't even like the beach.
Okay. You don't like the sand in your toes?
Dude, hell no. That's too much work.
Yes, thank you.
Dude, it goes all in your toenails.
Thank you, bro.
And you gotta like dig
I thought
it out.
I was crazy because I fucking hate having sand in between my butt cheeks and fucking in between my toes. Like I don't enjoy it.
But no, I'll go to the beach and chill, but I ain't, even touching the sand. I know that's kind of sad, but originally I'm from Oahu, so I like to go there. But this last time, we didn't really get a chance to go out there. And this was probably like 4 or 5 months ago. We stayed at a nice hotel. We just chilled, but it was only for like 2 days, right? But this time that we're going now in December, we're going to go for about like 3 weeks, but we're mostly going to be spending our time in Oahu. But I'm actually taking 2 my friends. They've never been out there, so I'm actually very excited to show them the experience.
Yeah.
And kind of like do the tourist thing with them.
Yeah.
Because it kind of like resets me all over again. It gives me something.
Well, it gets you excited to be back, exactly. Right? Because you're like, hey, dude, I grew up here. Check this out. Yeah, this place is this place is that. Dude, if you want something amazing, you got to go try that spot. Yeah.
The only downfall is honestly, after 3 days of being, in Hawaii, I'm ready to get back, dude. I don't know what it is. Because maybe it's just very slow. Like Hilo is just like dead slow. But Oahu, things are, it does move, but there's no place like Las Vegas.
Yep.
There's always something to do here, right? People are like, dude, what is there, casinos? I'm like, are you serious right now?
Bro, you don't even understand.
Yeah. Do your research.
You don't even understand what Vegas is really like.
How are you making that statement right now?
Bro, I don't even go to the Strip anymore.
I don't either.
And there's still so much shit to do. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. And, dude, our culinary scene, I think our restaurant game here is crazy.
It is. Unfortunately, I don't take advantage of that because I can't, because I watch what I eat. I'm very clean at what I eat, so I don't eat none of that stuff.
Bro, once a month, you got to go out. Just once a month,
dude.
bro. I know. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you because your journey is crazy right now.
Well, let me tell you, I do eat out probably about 5 to 6 times a week.
Okay.
Okay. However, it's pretty much the same restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same waiter. It's the same booth. It's the same food.
Are you guys catching this? This man is regimented. Look at that, a routine. This is the definition of success, is having a routine.
I could literally go. They know who I am. They already know where I'm going to sit.
Okay.
The waiter knows who I am personally, and I don't even have to order the food. They already know. All they say is same thing.
What'd you get?
Same thing.
What is it?
So I normally get it depends on where I go. Like if I go to Zippy's, I'll just get a little bit of rice, 1 cup of rice, 4 eggs, over easy, no oil, right? No butter. And I'll do, it's this, what is it called? A Loco Moco.
Okay.
No gravy, no oil on the shit, no butter on the shit.
So you're literally just having a beef patty with 4 over easy eggs and a cup of rice.
That's it.
Cool.
And if I go to, what is it called? Texas de Brazil. Basically, I'm just doing chicken, asparagus, and that's pretty much it. And a house salad. No dressing, no croutons, no cheese, just plain.
Bro, you're super disciplined with the diet. I love it.
Well, you got to be. You know what I mean? But here's the thing. I've been doing it for a while now. And
do you feel weird when you break the diet? Like, do you, like physically, does your body feel ill if you were to break the diet?
You know what's crazy about that is that my body, like, I can literally understand the composition of my body where, like, if I eat something, I already know within 24 hours, or if I'm walking to the scale, I know exactly how much I'm going to weigh. And I know how my body is going to look the very next day. And I know if I fast or if I cut, how shredded I could look. And if I go, to the, what is it called? What is that machine called where it takes your body fat and all that stuff?
I have no idea. I know what it's called. I know what it looks like. You stand on a platform, you have little handles that you hold.
There's a name for it. I literally forgot the name, but, before I go, like on a Friday, I already know what I'm going to eat. And based upon what I eat and what I'm, whatever my weightlifting regimen is going to be that day, by the time I get to that, I'm like at 164 and 8% body fat. But I can literally play with my body composition. It's weird, dude. But as far as like eating like shit, for me, eating like shit on the weekends is still eating clean, but I eat a lot more.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So like Saturday and Sunday, I normally do anywhere from like 4 to 5 meals, but then a total of 2 cups of rice, throughout the week. But then Saturday and Sunday, I may eat, 6 meals. You know what I mean? I'm like bulking up because I'm hungry. And that's the only thing.
Are you also running around a lot more on the weekends than you are during the week?
No, this is the funny part. If I'm working, I don't eat that much because I'm just hyper focused. I'm just constantly moving.
No, that's how I am.
But if I go home, especially at night, let's just say around like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, once I start to wind down, if I'm sitting down just scrolling through my phone and I start thinking about food, I'm like, yo, I'm hungry. So what I'll do is eat a little bit of fruits or, some oatmeals and just call it a day. But that's my kick right now is oatmeal.
Oatmeal?
Oatmeal's the shit, bro.
I'm on a homemade bread, half an avocado, 2 cups sauteed spinach, so 2 cups uncooked, and then you saute it down, turns into fucking like a teaspoon, and then 3 eggs.
So are you working out every day? You know what's the most important thing?
I know you have a trainer. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, you're fine.
I know that you have a trainer.
Yeah.
I actually got onto an app. So those of you that are listening and you're like, man, I just need some like more direction in the gym, something that I can have a consistent plan that I can follow. The Standard app, which is by Chris Bumstead. So that one is gangster, dude. It's like $110 for the entire year. And they have so many different workout plans that are on there. So I can just go in every day into the gym. I'm like, boom, I pull it up. All right, today's arm day. And it has a full workout for me. I don't have to think about shit. It has timers built into it. And I just log how much weight I did with the rep range. That's it.
That's great. But I feel like there's no accountability where you can actually get pushed to the next level. And unless you can, hold yourself accountable. I just realized for myself personally, whatever I do and whatever I want to be the best at, I need some sort of coach.
Yes. I love coaching, dude.
Like, let me give you an idea. If I go to the gym, I may be lifting hard, but mentally I'm not as strong, right? And by the time I'm done with my workout, I've got a good pump, but not like a crazy pump. But with the trainer, it's one more rep. Now do another one. You got this. Let me help you.
Yeah.
I'll help you. But he ain't really helping me. But mentally, I don't feel like he's helping it.
He's just touching your elbows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's so funny.
So by the time you're done, you're like, yo, this is like a real pump.
Yes.
And that's another thing about
I do agree with you, yes.
Now that's another thing about lifting weights, man, is when you get that pump, you feel good. But the problem is it doesn't last that long.
No, it's like 2 hours.
After that goes away, you're just
2 hours, you're walking around, you're like, God, my arms look great. And then 2 hours, you're gone. You're like, man, did I even work out today?
Now, Trevor, I just want to say, man, I really do appreciate you coming on the show. We are literally about an hour into this, and I can just keep going on because you just.
There's so much that we could talk about. So.
Exactly. So I think what we need to do is we need to do another podcast, but I think we should do it somewhere else.
Okay.
And maybe at a house or something. I don't know. Just something cool, right?
Okay.
And again, if you guys are interested in purchasing a home, you have no clue where to start when it comes with the financing, and you need to be educated, where do I find you other than Instagram?
So I'm with Barrett Financial. You can just go on Barrett Financial. So barrettfinancial.com, and then you could do find a loan officer. I'm right there. So my application link is built into that. Social media is probably the best place to get a hold of me. And then you guys shoot me a DM, dude. So we were talking earlier about what is the biggest difference between all of these lenders. And really the truth is that most wholesale brokers, which I'm a broker, most banks have their own portfolio products. Like we have all pretty much 95% all the same products. But what you're really looking for is just somebody that, one, you connect with, and then two, that you feel that you can trust, right? You're looking for somebody that's transparent. That's why you love my man across the way right here, because dude, he's just going to tell you like it is. He's going to tell you straight up. You know, if you guys are making a bad investment decision on a property, he's probably not going to let you pull the trigger on buying that property. He's going to say, hey, let's look at something else. So, and that's really our objective on the loan side, is to say, hey, we're going to guide you through all of your options, but ultimately we leave the decision up to you as the consumer.
And let's plug in your telephone number and your email address.
702-374-7237 is my direct cell phone. This thing is pretty much surgically attached to my hand. So you guys shoot me a text, give me a call anytime. Email address is T like Trevor, and then my last name, Otsuka. It's OTSUKA at Barrett with 2 R's and 2 T's, financial.com. So T Otsuka at barrettfinancial.com.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Hey, what's up everybody? Did you know that 96,000 people move to Las Vegas every single year? The question is why? Well, due to the Fed's interest rate hikes have increased the cost of living for many Americans across the country. Americans are now looking to relocate to Las Vegas because of no state income tax, low unemployment, low cost of living, and affordability for housing. We're also the entertainment capital of the world. So if you are thinking about relocating to Las Vegas, we would like to offer you a free Southern Nevada market report and a relocation guide. All you have to do is click on that link below to claim yours today.